record company, at that time it was Sylvia Rohn, she felt like there was going to be problems with Dawn.
So, En Vogue members are revealing what really happened to Dawn Robinson. From platinum records to parking lot real estate, one minute, Dawn Robinson was topping charts and selling out shows. The next, her mansion wasn't a mansion, it was her car. Fans couldn't believe it. How does someone go from R&B royalty to barely making ends meet?
I lost my house in the process because we were supposed to put our album out in June.
Are you serious?
Here we are in November. I don't have a way of paying my mortgage.
Was it bad deals? Money slipping through the cracks? Or was there something deeper going on? Whatever the case, her story wasn't just another cautionary tale. It was the kind that made people stop and rethink everything they thought they knew about success.
He told me before I signed with him, I don't have a lot of money to give you up front, but whatever you need, if you ever need it, I got your back. I can figure it out.
Buckle up, because Dawn Robinson's story isn't just about a fall from fame. It's about choices, resilience, and an industry that isn't always kind to its stars. This is what really happened.
Oh my gosh, life was lifing and I had to deal with it like we all do. I'm glad to be back.
Dawn Robinson, a famous singer from the 1990s, has been living in her car since March 2022. She made this decision because she wanted peace and freedom. She needed time to think without other people telling her what to do. Even though it was hard, she felt that it helped her understand herself better. It gave her space to decide what she wanted to do next. Dawn was one of the founding members of En Vogue, a very popular R&B group in the 90s. The group had hit songs like My Lovin', You're Never Gonna Get It, and Free Your Mind. They were loved by many people. Their music played everywhere, and they won awards. Even though Dawn had success, her life was not always easy. Recently, she shared in a YouTube video that she had been living in her car for 3 years. She spoke openly about her struggles and why she made this choice. She took a deep breath and said, "You guys, for the past 3 years, I have been living in my car." I said it. Oh my gosh, it's out.
When I first started this channel, I knew that I was going to talk about this episode. This was one of the topics that I wanted to discuss. And people are like back and forth with me over this whole time, like, well, you shouldn't talk about it because you're a celebrity, and what if they judge you? And I'm like, okay, what if?
Her story started in 2020 when she moved in with her parents in Las Vegas. At first, everything was fine, but soon she started having problems with her mother. She loved her mother, but their relationship became stressful. Her mother was often angry, and Dawn felt like she was always the target of that anger. She didn't understand why this was happening, and it hurt her deeply. She tried to deal with it, but after some time, she realized she couldn't stay there anymore. She felt like she had no choice but to leave.
I love my mom, but she became very angry. And a lot of her anger she was taking out on me, and I was her target all the time, and I was like, I can't deal with this.
After leaving her parents' home, she moved to Los Angeles. Her former manager told her she could stay with him. She thought it was a good idea and moved in. But things did not go as planned. At first, it seemed fine, but after some time, the arrangement fell apart. She had nowhere to stay. She had to live in a hotel for 8 months. During that time, she tried to find an apartment, but it was not easy. She said her manager did not help her the way she expected. Every time she found a place, he rejected it.
He's like, I don't have a lot of room, but I'll make room for you. And then when I got to his place, he actually didn't have room for me. So it turned into, okay, well, I'm going to put you in a hotel for the night. And that one night turned into 8 months. Oh my God, you guys. I was like, no, this is unacceptable.
She believed he was trying to control her. Sometimes people want to trap you and keep you in a situation where you're vulnerable and depending on them, she said. She realized she had to leave that situation too.
Sometimes I think, you guys, people want to trap you and keep you in a situation where you're vulnerable and depending on them, and I wasn't the one.
Dawn started looking into different ways to live. She learned about people who live in their cars, vans, or RVs. She found it interesting. She liked the idea of having her own space and being free from other people's control. On March 9, 2022, she made a big decision. She drove to Malibu and started living in her car. She was nervous, but also excited. "I felt free," she said. "It felt like I was on a camping trip. It just felt like it was the right thing to do."
You know, Malibu is the place where you can take Highway 1 all the way from New York, literally. And it's kind of the place where everybody stops along the way when they're coming from the East Coast and then they move, heading west, you know, to California.
At first, she was scared. It was a new way of living, and she didn't know what to expect. But as time passed, she learned how to manage. She figured out how to cover her windows for privacy. She learned how to stay safe and avoid talking to the wrong people. As a woman living alone, she had to be extra careful. Because she was a celebrity, she did not want to tell people who she was. "If you don't know who I am, I'm not telling you that part," she said. She wanted to stay low-key and protect herself.
And I'm a celebrity. I don't just divulge that to people. If you don't know who I am, I'm not telling you that part.
In her YouTube video, Dawn made it clear that living in her car was her own choice. She wanted to make sure people didn't feel sorry for her. She was not homeless because she had no other options. She chose this lifestyle because she wanted to be free. She also shared that she was no longer in contact with her family. She had also lost her dog, Max, who had been her companion in the car. After his death, she felt completely alone. She wanted people to understand that her story was not a sad one. This is not like, "Oh my God, poor Dawn. She's living in her car and it's terrible. Oh, woe is me." It's not that. It's not, she said. "I'm learning about who I am. I'm learning myself as a person, as a woman." But the big question is, why is she homeless now? And why is she living in her car today? What really happened? We are also going to talk about her past, her struggles, and her choices. That brought her to be homeless for 3 years.
This is about me just minding my own damn business the other day and seeing a video come up on my feed, and then a bunch of other people texting me the same video of my ex-wife, the woman that I was in love with for about 10 years of my life, telling the world that she was sleeping in her car.
So Dawn Robinson's ex-husband, Andre "Dre" Allen, wanted to help her after hearing that she had been living in her car for 3 years. Allen, who was married to Robinson from 2003 to 2010, shared his thoughts in an interview with TMZ Hip Hop. He said he had a job opportunity for her in the hospitality industry. He believed this job could give her a fresh start and a stable income.
Her mother and I talked, actually, we just talked yesterday. She'd never put her out. She'd never put her daughter in the streets. There's no argument that you could have with Barbara Jean that you could ever view as aggressive or mean-spirited.
Allen worked full-time in hospitality and thought Robinson would do well in a sales position. He said she had great charisma and personality, which would help her succeed. He felt the music industry would not pay her what she deserved, so he wanted to offer her something more reliable. He suggested she work in the sales department for Hilton Brands. Allen started his music career in 1992 when he formed the group IV Zample with Robert "Bobby C." Chevis, his brother Raymond "Runny Ray" Chevis, and Bryant Lucius Woodard. Their debut album, for example, featured the hit song "I'd Rather Be Alone" and sold over 500,000 copies. The group later broke up in 1998, and Allen moved on to solo music projects. He also wrote songs for other artists.
Most of my credit was earned as a songwriter, writing for Jesse Powell and Will Downing and As Yet, Ricky Bell from No Edition, Montel Jordan, Stevie B, the NBA Jam Session, Big Boy from Outkast.
Allen played a role in Robinson's reunion with En Vogue in 2008. However, she left the group again in 2011. Over time, Alan decided to leave the music business. He told TMZ that this decision saved his life and finances. He found more success in the hospitality industry than he ever did in music. He believed it was a better way to secure his future. Alan said he had lent money to many people in the music industry. He also knew some artists who struggled financially and even died in poverty. Seeing this happen to others made him want to help Robinson. He understood how tough the entertainment business could be, so he wanted to give her a chance at something different. Alan told TMZ that he had already offered Robinson this job before, and he hoped she would now accept it. He explained that if she took the job, she would receive free medical benefits from the first day. She would also get paid time off, PTO, which would allow her to continue working on her music career while having a stable job. Alan did not want Robinson to struggle. He believed she had a lot to offer and could build a new life with this opportunity. He knew she had talent, but he also knew that relying only on the music industry could be risky. By offering her a job, he hoped she would find financial security and a fresh start.
Never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never.
When it comes to her past life while within Vogue, Dawn Robinson faced financial struggles despite the group's success. Many people wondered if she had mismanaged her money. She had been part of one of the biggest girl groups of the 90s, but she still struggled with money years later. Some people questioned how this could happen to someone who had once been so successful. One of the biggest issues Robinson talked about was the lack of royalties. She said that En Vogue members were paid very little for their work. According to her, they only received 2 cents per album sold. This shocked many people because En Vogue had sold millions of records. Fans expected that Robinson and the other members had made a lot of money, but her claims suggested otherwise.
The record company at that time was Sylvia Rohn. She felt like there was going to be problems with Dawn. We began renegotiating our production deal with Denzel Foster and Thomas McElroy. Our manager and all the group members felt like, it'll be better if you're signed directly to the label.
During her difficult times, there was no public record of her former bandmates helping her. This made people question their relationship. Some thought they had simply moved on with their own lives, while others believed there might be tension between them. Robinson had spoken about past issues with the group, and this situation made people wonder if they were still on bad terms. Some people felt she made a mistake by leaving En Vogue and not securing a stable career afterward. Others believed she was unfairly judged for trying to follow her own path. She had talent, but she also had challenges that made her journey more difficult. Many discussions focused on whether Robinson's struggles were because of her own choices or outside forces. Some people thought she made bad decisions that led to her current situation. Others believed she was a victim of the music industry, where artists often struggle financially despite their success. It became a debate about personal responsibility versus the challenges of the industry. There was also criticism of her work ethic and ambition. Some people questioned if she had done enough to rebuild her career. Others argued that she had tried, but faced too many obstacles. It was not easy for former stars to regain success. Sometimes life changes in an instant. One moment everything seems to be going well, and the next it all falls apart. This is what happened to Dawn Robinson when she joined Lucy Pearl. She had high hopes for the group, but things didn't go as planned. She left because of money problems, and nothing she did could fix the situation. In the end, she walked away, and joy replaced her. "We were just getting started and it was over before we knew it," she said. Robinson shared that Raphael Saadiq, one of the key members of Lucy Pearl, didn't help her financially when she needed it. "I lost my house during that whole thing," she revealed. When she first joined, Saadiq told her, "I don't have a lot of money to give you up front, but whatever you need, I got your back." She believed him, but when the time came, she felt abandoned.
I lost my house in the process because we were supposed to put our album out in June.
Are you serious?
Here we are in November. I don't have a way of paying my mortgage.
Before joining Lucy Pearl, Robinson had a chance to sign a record deal with RCA. It was a good offer, and RCA even flew her to New York to discuss it. Bob Jameson, an executive at RCA, flew her to New York with a solid offer. But at the same time, she had the chance to join Lucy Pearl. Sadiq convinced her to choose Lucy Pearl, promising to support her. She trusted him and turned down RCA.
He told me before I signed with him, I don't have a lot of money to give you up front, but whatever you need, if you ever need it, I got your back. I can figure it out.
But things went wrong. The Lucy Pearl album was supposed to be out by June, but by November, there was still no album. Robinson was struggling to pay her mortgage. The bank kept calling, warning her that she would lose her house. Desperate, she called Sadiq. She reminded him of his promise and asked for just $1,500 to help with her mortgage. For someone in the music industry, $1,500 wasn't a huge amount. But instead of helping, Sadiq stayed silent. Robinson waited, but no money came. She realized she was on her own. Soon after, she lost her house. The betrayal hurt. She had passed up a major record deal, believing in promises that were never kept.
I came to him and I said, look, the album's not out. Here's July. I need help. And he's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. Every man for himself.
When Lucy Pearl finally started selling records, Robinson expected to see some money. But according to her, she barely got anything. By the time we started selling records, I got nothing, she said. She later admitted that she didn't check the details of her contract. She trusted Sadiq, but in the end, she felt cheated. It wasn't just the money that caused problems. There was also jealousy and tension within the group. Robinson noticed that every time she got attention, some members didn't like it. When you're the only girl in the group, you get a lot of attention, she explained. But that attention made things worse for her. She tried to keep the group together. She wanted to focus on making money and keeping the peace. But things kept getting worse. One day, she was standing with Sadiq and Ali Shaheed Muhammad, waiting for an interview. Suddenly, someone stepped between her and Sadiq. Then, Sadiq walked away. At that moment, she knew it was over. She turned to Ali and said, "We're done." She didn't want people to think she had a bad attitude or was difficult to work with. But after everything that happened, she realized she had no choice but to leave. Looking back, Robinson had many regrets. She regretted not checking the details of her contract. She regretted turning down the RCA deal for Lucy Pearl. But most of all, she regretted how she was treated. She shared her story in an interview, and fans were shocked by her honesty. In April 2008, Dawn Robinson started touring again. She performed at private events and sang songs she recorded with En Vogue and Lucy Pearl. She wanted to keep her music career going and connect with her fans. Later that year, she reunited with En Vogue for a special performance at the BET Awards. The group shared the stage with famous female artists like Alicia Keys, SWV, and TLC. It was a big moment for En Vogue fans because they had not seen all the members together in a long time. In 2009, Robinson officially joined En Vogue again for their 20th anniversary tour. The group traveled and performed for their loyal fans. It was exciting for both the singers and the audience to see them back together. In 2010, the four members even appeared on the cover of Jet magazine to promote their tour. Fans hoped this meant En Vogue was back for good, but things did not go as planned. After the tour ended, Robinson decided not to record new music with the group. The group was planning to release a new album in late 2011, but Robinson could not agree on the terms. On September 26, 2011, the other three members, Terry Ellis, Cindy Herron and Maxine Jones released a new song called "I'll Cry Later" without Robinson. This made it clear that she was no longer part of the group. Almost a year later, on October 17, 2012, Robinson and Jones spoke on Access Hollywood about the problems within the group. They explained that bad contracts and poor management made it hard for them to stay together. In October 2012, Robinson and Jones decided to form their own girl group called Heirs to the Throne. They created a website and social media pages to promote their new project. They performed at different places and tried to build a new fan base. However, things did not last. The following year, Robinson and Jones decided to go their separate ways. Jones then started another group called On Vogue to the Max. This caused a legal problem because the original On Vogue members, Herron and Ellis, sued Jones for using the group's name. They wanted $1 million in damages. However, they could not prove that Jones had caused harm to their brand. Robinson was asked to testify in the case. She explained that she was not involved because she had already given up her rights to use the On Vogue name when she left the group years earlier. In 2013, Robinson joined the reality TV show R&B Divas, Los Angeles.
And everything, but there's someone who's affected and probably an emotional place where she doesn't want to be right.
The show followed the lives of female R&B singers as they worked on their careers and dealt with personal struggles. Other singers on the show included Lil Mo, Shantae Moore, Kelly Price, Claudette Ortiz, and Michelle L.A. Robinson also introduced her boyfriend, Christopher Niels Connolly, to the audience. The show had a reunion episode, but Robinson did not attend. She also chose not to return for the second season. There were rumors that Bravo, another TV network, was interested in giving her and her boyfriend their own reality show, but nothing was confirmed. Robinson planned to tour with other cast members from R&B divas in the US, but her name was later removed from the lineup. In 2014, Robinson had a legal issue with Lifetime, a TV network. Lifetime released a movie called An En Vogue Christmas, featuring only two original En Vogue members, Herron and Ellis, along with Rona Bennett. However, the way the movie was promoted made it seem like all the original members were involved. Robinson was not happy about this. She went on TMZ Live and warned Lifetime that she would sue them if they did not change their advertisements. In 2017, Robinson told an entertainment reporter that she was working on a new album. However, she did not give any details about a release date. Fans were excited about the news, but had to wait for more updates. In October 2019, Robinson reunited with En Vogue for a special performance at the City of Hope Gala. The event honored Sylvia Rhone, a well-known music industry executive. This was a historic moment because it was the first time all 5 members of En Vogue performed together on stage. Later that year, Robinson and Jones started touring again, this time under the name The Funky Divas. Robinson had a strong and unique voice. She was a lyric soprano and could sing both high and low notes. In En Vogue, she was known for hitting the highest harmonies in many songs. She had a raspy but smooth voice that stood out from the other members. Even after she left the group, fans noticed that something was missing in their sound. She sang lead vocals on some of En Vogue's biggest hits, including What a Man. Don't Let Go, Love, and Giving Him Something He Can Feel.
I'm giving him something he can feel.
En Vogue hit the road with Luther Vandross, ready for a massive tour, but things got messy fast. The first problem? They turned down a late-night TV spot to avoid being everywhere at once, but Luther wasn't having it. That was just the beginning. The stage setup became the next headache. The rotating design made it almost impossible for fans to see them properly. But when they asked for a fix, Luther shut it down. Then came the wardrobe drama. No black, red, or white. Basically half their closet. So they were stuck wearing shades like brown and hot pink. Instead of playing along, they wore what they wanted, and things got heated. Luther even put up curtains backstage just to avoid them, but they walked right through like nothing happened. At that point, it was clear they weren't going to see eye to eye. Instead of sticking it out and dealing with the back and forth, En Vogue made their exit, choosing their freedom over the opportunity. Dawn Robinson had many ups and downs in her career. She had great success with En Vogue, but there were also disagreements and challenges. She tried to continue as a solo artist and even joined reality TV, but things did not always go as planned. Still, her fans remember her as one of the most important voices in En Vogue. Her talent and contributions to the group's success will never be forgotten.